Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from SimpleProgrammer.com. So, I got this question, actually, a comment on one of my videos. So I did this video on don't play the victim here. And I got this comment from Mr. Hardcash, who, by the way, he's been a very big supporter of Simple Programmer and the YouTube channel. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Hardcash. Really appreciate your insights and your really good comments on the videos I've been noticing, and I just wanted to give you a thumbs up and say thank you. So anyway, Mr. Hardcash says, any tips on how to continue work and accomplish stuff without motivation? Sometimes I overestimate myself and get indulged in new, relatively big projects, doing tons of excellent work in the beginning, in a short period of time, thinking I can continue at the same rate/effort. Days to come to finish the project doesn't happen. I end up losing interest and pausing everything. The only reason is huge motivation when I start that dies off gradually, sometimes completely fades away overnight. There you go. Maybe after a few months or so, or a year or so, I get interested in it again and pick it up where I've left off, but it's a terrible practice. I agree. I thought the solution was finding continuous daily sources for motivation. Perhaps there's another way. That's too much power hormones have over us. I totally agree. So, this is a tough one. If I had a magic pill, like a perfect answer right now that would solve this problem for you, I would be, not only would I be rich because I would be able to accomplish so much and finish it all, but also if I could sell this magic formula, I could make anyone wealthy beyond their dreams and accomplish anything they want in life. So, based on that, you should realize that this is a pretty hard problem. In fact, this is the hard problem, right? Maybe probably one of the hardest problems in life is how do you do something when you're not motivated to do it? Because like you said, those dang hormones, I don't know if it's hormones, but maybe it is, right? It's moods, it's emotions, it's swings, it's motivation levels changing. It's us changing. We're always changing. Life is about change, right? Life is not static, right? In case you haven't noticed, it changes all the time. How you feel about a thing changes all the time. So part of the answer to this, I believe, lies in understanding that and realizing that we can use that to our advantage, right? So if how we feel about things changes all the time, and we know that it changes all the time, we can strategically use that to help us to be able to accomplish goals, to get to places without motivation. Because we know that we are going to be motivated and feel like doing things, but we also know that there are going to be times where we don't feel like doing something and we want to give up and we don't want to do this thing anymore, and that will also pass, right? One good thing to keep in your mind, to repeat a lot of times, is this too shall pass. I've heard this in multiple places. I thought this stuck with me. It's something that I think about all the time because everything passes eventually, right? One way or another, it's going to happen. Even Seneca, in his letters to Lucius, basically said, I think he said it this way. He was like, he was talking about the suffering of death. And he likes death. He's morbid, but anyway, he was talking about this idea that either pain will either be great and in short duration, or long and or not so great but in a long duration. So basically, like, you're either going to have a lot of pain and then you're going to die, but it's going to happen quick, or it's going to be drawn out but not as much pain. So it can be so intense, right? So I'm getting a little bit off a track here, but the idea here is basically, and there's multiple ways to tackle this. I'll try to hit this from a few different angles here, but I think the primary one that you want to focus on is realizing that how you feel about something is going to change. And so if you realize that, then what you have to do is you have to realize that you cannot go by your emotions. In fact, in life, it's probably a really good thing just to start practicing this in general. Maybe that's getting into some Stoic philosophy, but don't go by your emotions. Your emotions are wrong. They're changing. They're not. If you steered your car or your boat by your emotions, you wouldn't go anywhere. You'd go everywhere. You'd be turning left and right every single day, and you'd never go. So you need something besides your emotions to guide you, because those change. And motivation, for all intents and purposes, is an emotion, right? It's an emotion. It's excitement about something. It's a thought that we have that it's going to change. So with that foundation, now you get to the point of planning something out. So, and this goes for, I mean, we can expand this beyond just doing things, right? It can also be about judgment calls, right? So I create frameworks and rules for myself because I have bad judgment. And when I say I have bad judgment, I don't mean that I have worse judgment than someone else. What I mean is that we all have bad judgment. When we make decisions on the spot, the only thing that we can really use is our emotions. Our emotions really influence us, right? Whereas when we plan things out ahead of time in a logical sense, we only have, so in the moment we cannot use logic, right? If you've ever gotten in a yelling match with someone, especially with a significant other, you are not using logic at that point. As much as you'd like to, you cannot do it because you are in the moment. But what you can do is ahead of time, before an event happens, not in the moment, you can use logic ahead of time to plan out behaviors and actions. The only time we can use logic is ahead of time, before the event happens. When you get smacked in the face, logic goes flying out the window, right? So you got to plan ahead of time. Same thing happens when you're hungry, you're angry, you're tired. Any of those things are going to screw you up and you're not going to make good decisions. And those things are going to happen multiple times throughout the day. So again, going back to this whole idea of planning things out and setting rules for yourself. If you have a goal, if you want to accomplish something in life, if you want to do a project, first, what you need to do is think how this is going to end. I kind of stole this from Stephen Covey in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People when he says begin with the end in mind, but I have a different meaning of that. What I mean is like, what is actually going to happen in 3 months? Are you actually going to do this, right? If you say, I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to run 5 miles every single morning, bullshit. You're not going to do it. In 2 weeks, you're going to be done. It's not even going to happen. You're not even going to make it 5 days. So don't even start that. Instead, scale it back. Figure out what you're actually going to do. And a lot of projects, what's going to happen is when you begin with the end in mind, when you start thinking about what's going to happen at the end of this thing, you're going to realize that you should not even do it, right? Not just projects, right? A lot of things in life. When you think about how's this night going to end? How is this particular thing that I'm going to do going to end? You know how it's going to end. So when you back up and you say, I'm just not even going to get into that. You'll save yourself many nights of drinking and getting wasted when you start with that in mind. I mean, sometimes you're going to intend to. That's fine. But you think about the end first. If you think about the end first, you're going to make a lot better decisions. So when you begin on a project, you think about the end first. Next, you're planning it out. You have a goal. You have a reason. What is your reason for doing what you're doing, right? Let's say that you want to get in shape. You want to lose some weight. Why? Why do you want to do it? What is your end result? What is your end goal? What is the picture in your mind? Why is it valuable to you? Why do you want this thing, right? Do you want to get 6-pack abs so you can pick up chicks? That's fine. I'm not judging you. That's a valid reason. Do you want to, complete this project, build this Android app, build this software, get this job so you can make a lot of money, so you can go, buy a big fancy car or house? Cool, fine. Again, not judging you, but know what it is. Know what is your reason. Is it just because you want to improve yourself and you feel like you need to be this kind of person and that will make you feel like you're accomplishing what you need to do in life? There's a better reason. It doesn't matter what the reason is, but you got to have that reason. Now, you're thinking logically when you're thinking about that, right? You're not thinking so emotionally. Maybe there's some emotional element, but when you're thinking logically, that's when you're laying this plan out. That's when you're coming up with your reason for doing it. And if that reason's good, and the end product, how you see it ending, you think it can end well, now you go forward and you do the project, and now what you're going to do is you're going to create rules and plan for this, right? So if I'm going to lose 20 pounds, right, I'm going to set up a diet, I'm going to set up a workout routine, and I am going to have rules for what I'm going to eat, what I'm not going to eat, what days I'm going to work out, how long I'm going to work out, what I'm going to lift, and I'm going to do it every single fucking day, right? Every single day. And I'm not going to skip a day. I'm not going to say, don't feel like doing it today because I have a plan, right? And I've planned it out. I'm not making judgment calls. Same thing if you start a project. Let's say that you start a blog. Let's say that you've signed up for my free blogging course, which you should have already if you haven't. So you signed up there and you're like, okay, John, I'm going to create a blog. Great. How many times, and I do this in the course, I ask you, right? There's a reason why I put this together. I say, what is your theme? Give me 50 topics you're going to write about. I say, oh, what is the schedule? Commit to a day. What time, what day are you going to write every single week, and commit to that. Let's see the end through. And I say, it's going to take you more than a year. Let's plan this out, right? You've got to have all of these things in a row. So the next time you start a project, do that. Plan that out and come up with how much time are you spending? What time are you spending on this project? What days? What things are you going to do? What's the scope of the project? And how are you going to get yourself committed to it? Because you got to have the plan. If you don't have the plan, if you don't have the rules, you're going to have to make judgment calls. Every morning you're going to have to wake up and say, do I feel like working on this? Do I feel like going to the gym? Some days your angriness, your hangriness is going to get over you and you're not going to feel motivated. You're going to be tired and you're going to have emotional troubles and all of this other stress in your life. And you're going to say, nah, I guess I don't really want that car. Or nah, I'd rather have pizza than 6-pack abs and get the girls. Nah, you know what I mean? You're going to make those bad decisions because you're using your judgment. But if you've planned out ahead of time and you have rules and you have a plan and you know what you're going to do, you're much more likely to become a finisher. Again, you can check out, I did a blog post on becoming a finisher. That may help you. It talks about how I became a finisher and it really changed my life. But that's what it takes. And again, this is not easy. This is the key though, right? Because and I've talked about this in many different ways, but the key to success is to be able to be the kind of person that can do things without motivation, because everyone can do things they're motivated about, right? You don't get any trophy for that in life if you feel motivated. And a lot of people think that people that accomplish a lot of shit that's crazy, that they're super motivated people. No, they're not super motivated people, they're super disciplined people. And super disciplined people are people who know how to create rules for themselves and how to stick to those rules and follow those rules because they're thinking ahead, they're thinking of the bigger picture. They know when they logically sit down before their emotions are involved, they know that if I want to get A or B, I have to go this path. And at some point during this path, I'll be just like, what's his name, strapped to the mast with the sirens. Like, you're gonna say, unstrap me, unplug my ears, I want to hear the sirens, or unstrap me, I guess, because he didn't have his ears plugged. Odyssey, never mind. Anyway, it'll come to me right after I do this video. But the point is this: at some point you're gonna change your mind, right? You're gonna be like, no, untie me, and then you're gonna have to say no. You set out a plan, you said that you're going to get 6-pack abs, you're going to do it, you're going to do this workout, you're going to do this thing, you're going to get up and you're going to write, you're going to get up and you're going to write this code, you're going to stay up late at night. Right now I'm doing a video because I committed today to doing 2 videos today. I'm trying to do 2 videos a day. So it's like what? It's like 11:13 and I said, fuck it, I'm doing a video right now. So I did a video and I'm going to do a good job on it. I'm not just going to do some bullshit video. So anyway, that's it. That's the secret. That's the key. If you can do this, you can accomplish a lot more than most people will ever accomplish in their life, but it's freaking hard. And I struggle with it every day. Every single person that ever accomplishes anything that's worth anything in life will struggle with this, but they'll figure out a way to overcome it because they want what they want bad enough to be able to go through the sacrifice, to be able to have the discipline to get it. And if you don't, then you're not going to get it, and you can't complain about it. You don't get to complain about it because you're not willing to do what it takes. So if you're willing to do what it takes, that's the primary strategy I can give you, is to take the emotion out of it, plan it ahead of time, and commit, knowing that you have a higher purpose, you have that goal in mind, and the only way that you're ever going to achieve those lofty goals in life is if you're going to be able to work without motivation. So I could talk about this all day. There's 1,000 nuances to this topic, but I think that's enough for now. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.